Someone asked me who I thought was the most corrupt politician right now. And honestly, after thinking about it, it's kind of a tie. It's kind of a tie between Nancy Pelosi and Elizabeth Warren. You know, Nancy Pelosi is the ruthless, deals behind doors, blackmailing, whatever it takes. You know, she gets what she wants. Her husband's trading options and basically stealing millions and hundreds of millions of dollars off the stock market, off of insider trading. But Elizabeth Warren is, not only is she a horrible, vile politician, and her legacy is completely destroyed. So now that the corruption of Doge is exposed, shows that Elizabeth Warren is one of the key people who passes these laws, passes these budgets in the government that donate money to nonprofit organizations, NGOs, and or non-governmental organizations and nonprofits, and so that the millions and millions, if not billions of dollars, flow to these entities, and then in turn they donate massive amounts of money to the Democrats and individually to these people. And you know, it's to the point now where not only is she obviously completely lying on almost everything she says, but you can go back in the footage and get almost the opposite of anything she says in the past. She stands for nothing. She literally is just the ringleader of all of this craziness of vandalizing and burning things and screaming and calling everyone Nazis. It's just scream, scream, scream. I'm going to be an adult toddler and scream, scream, scream. And hopefully history won't remember me as the crook I am. Her career is over. I will give credit to Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders at least is admitting the Democratic Party is broken. It needs to change. It probably needs to get rid of most everyone, including Elizabeth Warren and Nancy Pelosi. Obviously, they're all attacking Chuck Schumer right now, which is unfortunate. Chuck Schumer, you know, he's probably, you know, not as bad as them. I don't know. Maybe he's just as bad. Who knows? But anyway, here we go. Here's the ranting of a lunatic at the head of our country.
Donald Trump is single-handedly driving this economy off a cliff. With no evidence to back him up, he's claimed emergency authorities to slap new tariffs on nearly every product we import from.
And again, the whole premise of our start argument, most all the tariffs other than China are already being resolved. That's the whole point, is we're just trying to get things fair with other countries so they're not constantly taking advantage of the US.
From nearly every country. But
Not nearly every country. You can count on one hand the countries that there's still a tariff issue. Everyone almost instantly responded that they wanted to make a deal.
Congress has the power to reverse these tariffs, and we should do so immediately. Tariffs can be a tool to help build things in America, but Trump has slapped tariffs on, then off again with.
And so what? Why is that bad?
No rhyme or reason.
And there is a rhyme or reason.
Uncertainty about the long-term rules makes companies far less likely to invest in manufacturing or jobs here in the United States. If Congress doesn't stand up to Trump, economists predict a recession before the end of the year, and Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
And guess what? We have been in a recession or on the edge of a recession for years now. So that's not news to anybody, regardless of tariffs. Literally doesn't matter if we're in a recession tomorrow, the end of next year. Way overdue.
Powell says we're in a real danger of, quote, both higher unemployment and higher inflation. Translation, Trump's tariffs will push millions of workers out of jobs and push prices up at the same time.
Totally just disingenuous argument.
So, Ambassador Greer, we've heard a lot of conflicting statements about whether these tariffs are here to stay, how many more rounds of on-off we're going to do. So let me ask the question from a different perspective. Ambassador Greer, we lost 700,000 jobs each month in the last recession. If 700,000 Americans lose their jobs, will the Trump administration suspend these tariffs?
Again, a question that has multiple layers of shenanigans. I'll put the link to this badgering, disrespectful, disingenuous joke of a interview on in the description. I'll let you hear a little bit more, but just total embarrassment to the U.S. and how someone should conduct themselves and actually try to make something for the better instead of just raging, trying to get everybody else to rage.
Senator, I think the economists who are making these projections, who often are in favor of fully unfettered free trade, are the same ones who said in the first Trump term that
Mr.
By the way, if you don't know it, economists are totally unregulated, totally for sale. What is it, Krugman, or what are the economist that was with Bill Clinton? Total maniac, wrong on almost everything he says. You can get you can get an economist that is popular on either side to testify about anything you want.
putting
Mr.
tariffs
Greer,
is
Ambassador
something that's going
Greer,
to
let
happen,
me just
Senator.
stop you there. I'm not asking about projections. I'm asking if the numbers show that
I'm not asking projections, but I'm going to immediately ask you for a projection.
700,000 people have lost their jobs because of these new tariffs that Trump has slapped on. Will the administration reverse course
Senator,
and
A nonsensical question, immature, unprofessional, disrespectful.
lift those tariffs?
Senator, that's not going to happen. We've lost 5 million manufacturing jobs over the years, which is the number I'm most worried about, and we have to get those jobs
So I
back.
take that as a no. Let me try another one. Moody's says that if the Trump tariffs remain in place, we will definitely plunge into a recession, which will ultimately cost 3.5 million Americans their jobs. So, Ambassador Greer, if Trump's tariffs push 3.5 million people out of work, will the Trump administration reverse course and lift those tariffs?
Again, same ridiculous question, just phrased differently.
Senator, the Wall Street analysts are wrong. They never want to have any kind of
I'm not
change to the
asking if
status
they're
quo.
wrong.
All right, so I don't want to give her any more, like, it's just a waste of brain power, a waste of everyone's time. I will tell you what will cause a recession and cause the downfall of America, cause stagflation, where we become a third world country, is spending federal tax dollars to fly in illegal immigrants, let them stay in the luxury hotels, give them benefits for everything with a social security number, better benefits than veterans who fight for their life for the country with no end in sight. That is what will destroy this country. That is what will cause worse than a recession, like a Great Depression, like and game over, end of the country, start over from scratch. We fall to one of the weakest countries in the planet. Just total ridiculous hypocrisy. Or am I wrong, guys? What do you think?